Damn, this feels so real. Damn, this feels so right. You got me in my field. We be catching these vibes, baby.
Welcome to East Coast DNA. I'm your host, Darcy Walsh, and today's, well, it's a special guest. It's Thaydra Gray, but you go by JupiterReign.
Yes.
Okay, and is that that's one word when you spell it for anyone that's Googling?
One word. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, no space in between Jupiter
People
and
put
Reign.
it with the space, but it's one word.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I know you'll find both anyway, but
exactly.
I know it's important when you start getting to a certain level for the musicians that it's the right spelling, so you're getting the right credits on the back end there too.
Exactly.
And speaking of which, I want to go back and give a little bit of history of who you are for everybody, but we are just hot off of the awards. We were just talking about this. So the African Nova Scotia Music Awards were last night, as of this recording anyway. And you had been nominated, and I was just asking you about it. So congratulations, you won yourself an award last night.
Thank you so much.
Maybe before we get into about who you are and what got you to that point, since I mentioned the awards, could you give like a quick little recap from your perspective, just what some of the highlights were for your night last night?
Well, definitely winning.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely winning was number one. I was awarded the Rising Star of the Year award, which is amazing. But I was saying, like, just the fact that I was nominated for 4 awards, including Artist of the Year and Song of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
Just like my first project coming out in February that was an honor in itself. Just the fact that my name was up there with people who I looked up to, people who I listened to, who I vibe with, people who mentor me. Sound was a big mentor to me, and I was up there with nominated for awards. I was like, give me that. I'm okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
They called my name and I was like, oh shoot. Oh wow. Okay. Thank you.
Just being mentioned in the same breath as some of your role models is definitely an honor.
Exactly. Like, and a lot of my career here kind of took off when he gave me the opportunities he gave me, which
Yes.
kind of put me like in those steps to getting to where I am now. So I owe him a lot, and I'm so honored and just so appreciative.
Oh, it was wonderful, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
So that's probably a good point. Then maybe we'll go back. I know that you started singing very early on in your life. Your family was very much involved with the church, and you were involved in choirs and that type of bring. We have a lot of people that have been on the podcast that had music in their life through their parents at an early age, and then took all different avenues since then. But yeah, maybe you could tell a little bit about your early childhood music experiences and how you landed here in Nova Scotia.
Well, I was born here.
Mm-hmm.
My father got a preaching job in Montreal. He was offered a church down there. So we moved there when I was fairly young. I was 2 when we moved. And so it was just church. Like that story when you have like a pastor as a parent and then the mother's the choir director. We were in church all the time. And I loved it. It was so much fun. It was an opportunity for me to always just do what I love to do. I always knew that singing was what it was for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't see another career or passion besides music. Music has just always been it. So I was in all the choirs, I was in the praise and worship teams. I was just always finding a reason to make a whole bunch of noise until that turned into me doing talent shows in elementary school, high school, just around the city, doing showcases that was going on around there. And then eventually it turned into like, I love the way that how music kind of connects and it kind of gives you stories to connect yourself to, especially in times when you feel like you don't have anyone to connect with or you're just by yourself. But that's never been the case for me because music has always played that role in my life that made me feel a part of something at times when maybe I didn't. And so I just always knew that I wanted to be that to somebody else, like what another artist or what music was for me. And then I know everyone has their stories. You're growing up in your 20s, relationships are up and they're down and they're all over the place. And that was a big thing when I was writing my project. It was just up and down everywhere, and I'm like, well, a good's coming out of the mess because it's
Hmm.
giving me stuff to create and stuff that people can feel connected to. And then that's where Intergalactic came along.
Yeah, and lyrically, I know that there's obviously some heartache that went into some of
A
that.
lot of heartache.
Yeah. I know that Don't Wanna was that your first single off that? Yeah,
Yes.
okay. Because that's the one that I was the most familiar with
Hmm.
from the EP.
Yeah.
The last, like, it's a 5-song EP, Intergalactic,
Yeah.
and came out Valentine's Day of this year.
Yes.
So you're already getting a lot of success off it, having award nominations like right out
And
of the
that's like,
gate.
that's the shocking part. I'm like, I just released something in February and we're only in
Yeah.
October now. I'm like, wow, Thaydra, good job.
So I've known I like all of the songs, but the last one it was a collaboration there as well because you had a
Yes.
feature artist on there with you as well.
Yeah, that was Vibes featuring MAJE. He's an artist from here as well.
Yeah, I've had the name pop up a couple times, but it's always in that type of situation where it's like a collaboration song that's been thrown
Yeah.
into a different mix. So I'll definitely have to go down that rabbit hole someday and figure out who
He's
that is and why everyone
he's
thinks
an
they're so
amazing
cool.
artist. He's an amazing, great artist to work with. Amazing person in general.
Mhm.
He's a the awesome guy. He's dope.
Now, did you find that now anyone listening, if you're not familiar with the catalog yet, I mean, there's not too many songs for you to catch up on. So you can pause right now and go head over to any of your
Come
streaming
right back.
platforms. Yeah, and then come right back. But that last song is a little bit more leaning towards some of your older material that if you look around YouTube and SoundCloud, you can find a few little trails of old material.
Yeah.
So you were leaning more towards the rapper end and now you're more on the R&B end.
But I'm working on some stuff, so
Yeah.
might get back into that pretty soon.
Well, that's exactly what I was getting at. I had a note down as like future collaborations, and I wanted to be careful how I worded that because it
Uh-huh.
doesn't diminish anything of your own talents. But I
Yeah,
am curious if there's other styles that you're looking at exploring, since 5 songs is great to showcase what you're doing now. But I
exactly.
know digging around, I can see that you've already done some other things.
Yeah, and I also have an album coming out in 2025, so
Perfect.
I want that to be more of different genres of music because
Hmm.
I can do everything, and I don't want to all only just stick to the slow R&B stuff. I want to give people different stuff to move to cry to dance to. So yeah, definitely more stuff coming in there.
And something that would be a little bit of a flex in most of my circles, but you kind of glossed over. I found it in probably your Music Nova Scotia bio that at one point early on you sang backup for Pink Floyd.
I did backup for Roger Waters when he
Yeah,
had a
yeah.
couple in Montreal. So his tour manager was looking around for some singers and my name popped up somewhere. And
Awesome.
that was a crazy experience. That was so much fun.
How many years ago was that? Because I know somebody that went to Montreal to see Roger Waters. I bet you it lines up to be the right
But
concert.
back in I was still in high school then.
Yeah.
So it was probably 2012,
Yeah, yeah,
2013.
no, probably. I'm gonna have to write them before this episode comes out
Yeah,
and
so
find
it
out.
was it was a while ago, but no, that was my first time doing something big like that, especially
Yeah.
in Bell Center is like a big arena.
Hmm.
So like that was so scary, but it was so amazing. It was so cool.
Did that kind of whet the appetite a little bit for you to take a little bit of
Oh,
a different approach?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was like, "Oh yeah, this is definitely what I want to do."
Hmm. And so you're firmly rooted here in Nova Scotia for your music career.
Yes, absolutely.
And with the award that you just won, you also have a nomination for Music Nova Scotia, which has their festival coming up at the beginning of November. So you have the opportunity to win awards at the beginning of every month for the like.
And I'll
It's
just
pretty
keep
good
it
streak.
going.
Yeah.
As long as you guys have awards to give out, my name will be in the hat.
So I know on my end, and I'm kind of asking this as a fan, which is a little unfair. Some of my questions are more fan questions than media questions. So if you don't have the information to share yet, that's perfectly fine. A fan can wait. Uh, Usually around award seasons and things coming up like the Music Nova Scotia week, there's usually the opportunity to promote the next single or the next project, and you've already alluded to having a new album in 2025.
Mhm.
So what are we looking at for new material between now and then? Is there something that you're ready to announce, or are we still a few weeks away?
Well, today was announcement date. As soon as I get off of here, I have some posting and stuff to do, but I'm
Perfect.
releasing a new single on November 2nd, so the first day of Music Week.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
November 2nd, I'll have a new single called In a Rush that's coming out, and it'll be everywhere you can find music.
And I'm sure for anyone that's going to be joining us down in Yarmouth for those few days, that by the time they get home, the song is going to be fairly ingrained in their head because they
Yes, and
do a good job of promoting.
I'm performing at Music Week, so I'll make sure it's stuck.
That was one of my questions too. I thought I saw your name there. You do have a
I
showcase.
definitely have a showcase on the Saturday.
Excellent. Okay, I'm
Yes.
definitely going to have to keep an eye out for that.
Mhm.
And for anyone that's going, typically I know they did last year. They had the app, so you could schedule everything ahead of time. So
Yeah,
the first
everything is
thing,
on the app. They have the conference schedules and all the showcase schedules, so you can really
perfect.
find it on there. Yeah.
Awesome. And so what about performances outside of the awards show? Is there any opportunity for anyone to catch you live in the
Right
next few
now,
months?
right now it's just Music Week, and then
Mhm.
I'm stuck on writing.
Yeah, that makes
Trying to get
sense.
trying to get at least 10 songs out for that album, and I have a couple songs a couple of singles from that album I'm releasing next year. So it's back to the writing board, and then whatever opportunities come up, everything will be posted and shared. So I definitely keep my people updated.
And there was a note I had to in part of my research. I didn't take too many notes because I wanted just to chat with you and see where it would go, but you've done some acting as well.
I have.
So is that part of what part of the JupiterReign package? Like, will you be doing some acting going forward
I'm
to?
hoping. I'm definitely hoping to get some more gigs. That was the very first musical I was in. That was last year. A year from today now almost. Yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, and that was Love, Peace, and Hair Grease that Tara Taylor wrote and put on at Albany Landing. And like when I auditioned for that, because I was a Glee fan growing up.
Okay.
So like in the musicals are I will watch I watch Rent and Annie every single day if I can. I was that kid that just loved to watch all the musical movies and everything. So I musicals or being in productions like that were definitely something I wanted to do growing up. And then when I got that opportunity last year, I told him I was like, you can make me tree number one, curtain opener number two. I just want to be involved because it was something I've always wanted to do. And I was casted as the lead role in that. So that was definitely a lot different from what I've than just singing. It was the
Hmm.
acting, the dancing, and everything else included. But it was such an amazing experience. So hopefully in the future other opportunities like that come up because I would love to. I had so much fun.
And I do have a question that's kind of vague. It might be a little kind of harder for you to answer.
Uh-huh.
I'm curious with for yourself because you've been doing like you've had a music career technically since you
Mm-hmm.
were like 10, 12 years old, like
Yeah,
technically because you were performing in choirs in front of the public and everything too. Like with that much of a history, like that's more than half your life, really.
definitely.
So in the last couple years, like you didn't come out of nowhere, but you're having a lot of success over the last like 24 months. Like
Yeah.
you're getting the opportunities, but then you're also following through and in some cases exceeding on what the expectations are from somebody in that situation.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would attribute that to? Like, is it just something on your own end with like some type of motivation, or is there any type of support team helping you, or like what is it that was the
Mhm.
key to your success in this area?
When I was younger, I've always just mainly did covers and
Mm-hmm.
sang other people's music, and I tried to do my own stuff. Like the rapping started off as just like me and my friend just having fun. And I was like, "Oh, this sounds good," but like I've never written songs
Mm-hmm.
before, and so I was enrolled in the music arts program at NSCC 2 years ago. Was my first year,
Mm-hmm.
and then one of the projects we had for our second year was to write a song because they had producers coming in to help us get those made up. And my teacher hooked me and Renee Smith up together to
Oh,
work
okay.
on. And it was, sorry, and it was writing that first song. That was my single, Don't Want It. That's how that started.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't until I kind of pushed myself to write that song that I was really like, I know I can do my own music because I've always tried to write, but I guess I just didn't have all the motivation I had at that
Mm-hmm.
moment and now. And so it was once I got that out that I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely for me. And so it was once I started to do my own material that I started getting the recognition I'm kind of getting now.
But that's awesome. Because, and I mean, that's an awesome message for other people out there too, because I do find that's also a common thread with artists in general,
Yeah.
to second guess yourself and be your own worst critic.
And I am
And
definitely my own worst critic.
yeah, and friends and family encouraging you is great, but in the back of your head, that doubt is always there. To have,
Oh, it does not go away.
yeah, peers and role models validating in the first place, like that you're on track with what you're trying to accomplish, it really can do a lot to kind of level set and give you a baseline to build from.
Absolutely.
So it's great to see that you had success once you got to that point, because the confidence gets you halfway, then you
Hmm.
actually have to deliver. So like it sounds like you had a little bit of luck, but you actually were able to deliver. So now it's your world now. So you have the
Exactly.
opportunity to do what you want to do the way you want to do it.
Exactly.
And so is there plans then when you do have the next album ready? And I know you'd never have details because it's still too way early on, but
Very early on. Yeah.
what's your next level of success look like to you? Like what's your goal? What are you trying to achieve next?
Well, I'm going for Artist of the Year next year. I was nominated
Yeah.
this year. I said next year, hopefully I have some more stuff out that people can listen to. Like I said, some different types of music, so maybe
Mhm.
not just the slow stuff, maybe speed it up a little bit. Give them like a different side of Jupiter Rain than just the sad, heartbroken R&B girl. So I'm
Well,
definitely
I'm
aiming for that. And then more shows.
yeah.
I'm thinking of planning a Atlantic tour once I get some more stuff done up. So there's
Don't
some
forget Pictou County. Like it might be a year or two when you're finally getting around to do some of that, but don't forget Pictou County. People forget some of the smaller communities, and I'm right here in
no,
Pictou County.
I definitely get that, but I will not. I will write that down.
Yeah, but I'm sure if you remember when you're doing the planning and you're like, I can't find a venue, I have a list on my computer over here that I'll send you for
You'll
anywhere
be
in
the
Pictou
first
County.
person I get in touch with.
Yeah, perfect. So for anyone that's not already familiar with you, and I'm sure they will be over the next year or two as you're putting out new material as well, but
Hmm.
what would you like to showcase for people on this episode that we could play as a single for people to be introduced to JupiterReign?
I'll do Don't Wanna. Don't Wanna was my first single I put out. That was a single that was nominated for Single of the Year with ANSMA, so that's a pretty good one.
Perfect. And coming up in November, I will be down in Yarmouth as well. So I'll be keeping an eye out for you. If you happen to see me floating around, be sure to say hi, and maybe we'll sit down and record another little brief chat.
Just let me know. I'm available.
Right. Well, thank you very much for your time, and I hope to talk to you very soon.
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity.
Bye.
Bye.
You came in so amazing. You were different from the first day. Drove my heart crazy. I loved you from the start. When I marry you, won't break your heart. My heart's been torn apart, but you came and made a work of art. Cause I ain't tryna waste time. When you ain't with me, just call me on the FaceTime. I want you in the worst times. Boy, you make me feel so good all day till nighttime, yeah. No games, no games. We got chemistry, baby, we got all flames. Hold me close, I'll be your woman. Don't let go, we are the moment. So don't waste my time with all of your lies. Cause I can see through all of it now. Don't waste my time with all of your lies. Just trying to move on. Don't wanna think about you. Don't wanna think about you. Cause baby, I'm so through with you. Don't wanna think about you. Don't wanna think about. Boy, you took my heart away. I feel played like a fool in love with you, begging you to stay. It was that kind of love that a girl's looking for, a love will endure. But you fucked it up. You came and you wrecked it. Got these women on my phone speaking reckless. I paid your bills, you was hungry, you was helpless. When you play me, you're so stupid, you're so selfish. What am I gonna do? I thought that I was in love with you. My heart is torn in two, but I'm moving on to something new. So don't waste my time with all of your lies. Cause I can see through all of it now. Don't waste my time with all of your lies. Just trying to move on. Don't wanna think about you. Don't wanna think about you. Cause baby, I'm so through with you. Don't wanna think about you. Don't wanna think about. Don't wanna think about you. Don't wanna think about you. Cause baby,